honor to support Assembly Member Dr. Darshana Patel in this valiant effort. I would say that this law, if it passes in the form that it should pass and not be watered down, that it will be one of the most consequential laws passed this year that affect the daily lives of families, parents, children, teachers, people who work in medical facilities trying to save lives, all of the key spots in our community that should be safe would be impacted positively. We have tried for many years to fix this loophole, and it has not worked. But we do believe that with the strong voice and the experience in education that Dr. Patel has, that this is the year that this fix will happen. So when a threat is made in San Diego County, we handle it very differently than many areas. I had the honor, but also misfortune, of being the prosecutor who tried to jury the last school shooting case that happened in San Diego County. And we were able to obtain a conviction and bring justice to the Carlsbad community. However, it never left my mind that this person, the perpetrator, had made many threats, had made threats that weren't reported by the public, had made threats that were not addressed, because our laws when it comes to threats are just too weak. They have too many loopholes. We want to wait until something actually horrible happens, when we know that school shooters often and pretty much in 80% of the cases disclose publicly in some form their intent to do harm. So addressing the threats and not waiting to play Russian roulette to discover if this threat is real or not real is the path to prevention and deterrence. So what we did in San Diego is we formed a protocol with all 42 school districts that Dr. Patel has been a part of. And this protocol allows us to log every threat in a law enforcement coordination center. And it allows us to track what happens with those threats so they don't fall off the radar. But in many cases, those threats cannot be prosecuted because they're not specific enough in their threat language about being immediate and doing great bodily injury or death as a target. And in many occasions, it's because they're not specific as to the person that is the intended person for the harm. Common sense would tell you every day of the week and on Sunday that when you threaten a school, a place of worship, a hospital, you're not trying to attack the building. You are focusing on the people that go into the building. But this loophole and the fact that prior to this, we never had a law that specifically named these institutions that were supposed to be safe as institutions where if you target them with a threat, we still have to go behind the curtain and argue to a jury that a person was frightened, reasonably frightened by this threat or persons. But it removes this kind of blurry language and allows investigators, police officers to obtain search warrants and for us to be able to prosecute. And prosecution may result in imprisonment if that's the right result, or it may result in giving somebody the mandated treatment in mental health to stop that person from harming our community in the future. So AB 237 is a fix that's absolutely needed today. As laws go through, we do see sometimes language get watered down, if you will. We are hopeful that the language that experts and community have written that really address the issue remains so that we can act. I want to thank Pat Espinoza, Chief Deputy DA, who's been leading the efforts in Sacramento and bringing a coalition and working with Dr. Patel's team on this. And I just want to tell you from years of looking in the eyes of kids that have had lockdowns, principals that feel helpless, that is real trauma, that we don't need to see gunshot wounds, which are obviously what we're trying to prevent, that to allow our kids to go under their desks and just call it, well, it's fake, nothing happened. No, something happened. Their life was altered. They are living in fear, and they deserve to live in safety.